Surviving 300 days in this Minecraft world, we have achieved so much, from nothing to starting on our castle megabase. So sit tight and enjoy 300 days in Minecraft. Starting off in our world, we hunted for food so we wouldn't die. Yum. Next we planned out this big bridge, which we didn't actually end up finishing in the 300 days. Whoops. We laid out the paths, which would be the infrastructure for the rest of this build. And after our first successful mine, we had a full set of iron armor. Our first project for this world was to build this mine, which we'd use to collect the resources for the rest of the series, creating this really cool crane design and other details, which shout out to whoever made this from this YouTube video. Then we started construction on our main base, which would be our starter house, our starter base, where we kicked off the series and did most of the days in this whole series. It's quite spacious and was plenty of room for us to build and expand and grow and everything we needed for this series at the start. I did a little building off camera and forgot to record the construction of this gunpowder farm. Then it was time to find the end. I got bored of walking around everywhere and really wanted some elytra, so into the end we went. And in episode 2, we defeated the Ender Dragon. Just like that, it had been slain and we had completed the game, grabbing the egg and returning home. And to celebrate, we created a hole in the nether roof and made a portal on top so we could get to the dungeon quicker and easier instead of taking that long boat ride every time. And finally, I had my dream of never having to walk again, grabbing a pair of elytra and unlocking flight for the rest of the series. Got a little board and made a sand duper, which we'd use later, grabbing some slime for the slime blocks for that. And then we went on a bit of exploration, finding a jungle biome nearby and grabbing some bamboo, which we'd use for scaffolding. Then came the fun part of planning out our starter base, our starter island, with all the paths, houses and farms. And then we finally got to work. We laid out the paths and where the roads would go, and we'd use this for the rest of the series. I got a little bored in the end of episode 4 and we created a lot of TNT, but we used it all to find our first ancient debris, mining quickly in the end and creating our first nether scraps. Moving swiftly onwards, we created our first field, and then another, and then another. And this one here was going to be our cow pen, as they were kind of growing a bit too big for the small pen we had them in before. Moving then on to the sheep, as they also needed a home to live in. Lastly, our horses and donkey needed somewhere to live, so we made them a small pen as well. Now came the not so fun part of placing down and breaking a lectern multiple times to try and get a mending book. Just like that, we had mending on our tools. And in no time at all, we had our first netherite tool, celebrating by mining a bunch of deep slate. Then we began another big project, creating this iron farm that would be going for the rest of the series. We permanently recruited some nearby villagers from a village and this zombie over here and led them into our iron farm, which would produce all the iron we'd need for the rest of the series. And after a short AFK, we had quite a bit of iron already. Deciding that this weird floating structure didn't look the best, we created this outside tower to cover it all up, and I think we did a pretty good job. It's pretty impressive, and I like the final design. We don't like to waste time in this survival series, so we moved on to the next big project, a super duper ultra mega smelter. Thanks Shulkercraft for the design, and we'd use this to smelt all of our items in seconds. It is amazing. And so that didn't work. After a few interruptions, we began working to collect a bunch of resources for the townhouses, with some slight deforestation and collecting a bunch of sand. And look at this coral reef we found. We put these resources to use, creating 3 amazing townhouses, which really added to the life of this island, making it feel a lot more like a village and a home, rather than some barren wasteland. We added a few decorations, like this bench and this post and those carts over there and this road going through the entire area, just to add some life to the area. And these stables here where we could store our horses as well. Then we collected some flowers, quite a lot of flowers from all over actually, because I had an idea to prettyify our area by creating some flower fields. We had some sunflowers and some alternating flowers as well, and just prettying up the whole area pretty much. It was quite a fun experience, and I haven't really done much of this before, so looking forward to doing it more. Then creating another pretty big project, we started on our sheep shearing automatic farm. So this would collect wool for us while we were AFK or doing other things in the world. And just to make things annoying, we had a little visit from a friend. But that wasn't all our troubles. Later on, I had a bit of a fright. Have a look. When we finally got back to the sheep farm, I had a bit of troubles because I accidentally built it wrong a couple times, which was so frustrating. But eventually, we had the farm done and started collecting wool from our sheep. Then began one of our biggest projects yet. If you think the others were big, look at this. We used TNT to create a giant hole in this hill, all the way down to about the deep slate level. And then we clear out some more room down below with more TNT and using our pickaxe to create this giant space. In this space, we were going to use Lightmatica again to create the ultimate sorting system, which used a lot of resources. Like, look at how many chests we need. One not so short resource collecting montage later, and we'd finally collected everything we needed. With that done, we started work on our incredible sorting system, which shout out to the builder of that. I'll have the link in the description, the designer of this, because I've been looking for a system like this for so long, and I think this one perfectly fits the bill. It's multi-item, it automatically sorts it away, and it can unload shulk boxes and do so much more. It's incredible, and we finally had an amazing sorting system in this world. Now just add the filters. Yay! But after that was done, it was all up and working, and we could finally use this amazing sorting system with every block in the game sorted. It's Christmas here, and you know what that means? That's right, it's time to build a giant Christmas tree. Why? Why not? Collecting the resources we needed took quite a bit of time, considering there was a lot of wood and a lot of leaves and a lot of resources to build. But we started, and I think the finished product turned out pretty well, adding some leaves to the final tree. And then we went back and added a bunch of glowstone and other decorative baubles that really made the tree stand out, especially at nighttime. This was a weird and wacky project to do, but I'm so glad we did, because it's one of the giant landmarks of our world, and it looks pretty impressive. Then came the mega base. As you can see, the trees over there, and then we would start over here on our ultimate castle. I had this project planned out since the beginning of this world. I really wanted to create a mega castle and mega kingdom on top of this hill over here, and so I was really excited that we had the resources and everything available to start building it. So here is a time lapse of the construction of the first part of the castle. In episode 10, when we built this castle, I talked about a bunch of building tips and tricks, so if you're interested, go check out episode 10 to see us building this mega base. And with that, we'd finished the first part of our castle, and sadly come to the end of our 300 days surviving in this world. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm really keen for what we do in the next 300 and the next 10 episodes of our series. If you enjoyed any of these episodes, I'll have the links to each episode down in the description, and I'd love for you to go check them out, check out the different parts of this world, and thank you guys for supporting me in this. I am really keen to keep posting videos and keep working and building in this world. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, let me know, leave a comment, subscribe maybe, and I'll see you all in the next one. See you soon.